ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. Y'all better listen up. This sports talking tough. So if you got a cup, go on and raise it up. I'll raise one with you as we talk about the sports. It's raining stats and rumors. Let us give you the report. This is First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah.
What is up, everyone? Another episode of First 12 Ounces. Man, what a weekend of ball. Ups, downs for two of us. One up. Well, two, because I think Notre Dame won two. So, yeah, so two for two as far as podcast hosts go. But, hey, we'll let you lead it off because you had the early game.
Yeah, LSU played Arkansas. The boot stayed home. Kind of a messy, sloppy game. Kind of, I think, what a lot of people expected. LSU's defense played better against Taylor Green than I thought. I thought they would. I think a lot of people thought they would. Ultimately, LSU got it done when it mattered. They got a game-winning drive, a 90-something yard game-winning drive, and then were able to run the ball to end the game. They were able to get a big-time run that they haven't had all year. Looks like LSU's got a running back that's emerging, and Harlem Berry's now is on a 4 or 5 game stretch of putting up really good numbers with limited carries. He's only been getting 10 to 13 carries, but he's putting up 55 to 70 yards in those carries, so it's good production out of it. LSU's not really playing for anything right now. Obviously, all the off the field nonsense is all anybody wants to talk about. But I was very impressed with how LSU looked. I thought Frank Wilson did a great job, and it was awesome watching the players and the fans embrace Frank Wilson after his first win. That was really cool. And I don't know what they do with Frank Wilson, but Frank Wilson will always have a special place in my heart just for caring about LSU the same way myself and everybody else who's an LSU fan does.
Yeah, I hear that. We'll see how they go into this weekend. I think they got an easy game this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully.
uh, Cole had sent us a clip that I'm going to throw up here in a little bit, covering the Alabama game. But let's get into this disappointing Texas game. I say disappointing, but it started off as a good game up until the fourth quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, everything changed. From Kirby going for it on that 4th and 1 on his own 36, it took massive balls to do, and he did, and he converted. And then he also went down and converted another 4th down. And all momentum was pretty much taken out of Texas' hands from there forward. And then he kicked the onside kick, which really stole the momentum, scored a touchdown again, and then Texas had the ball for 3 possessions before going down 21 in the fourth quarter. It could never really climb out of that hole. But before that, like I said, it was a close game. It was 14-10 going it to start the fourth quarter. So it looked like we're going to have a great finish, and then Kirby just said, "No, we're going to keep the ball away from you as much as we can," and that's exactly what they did. They leaned on that clock, kicked the onside kick, and just took the time away from Texas to really answer. Because honestly, Texas was moving the ball on offense. That the first coming into the second half after Archer went down and scored that huge touchdown pass to Ron Wingo. It looked like all the momentum was leaning Texas's way. The one thing that I noticed more than anything else is Texas completely got away from the running game. That
Yeah.
first series, the very first series, Texas had 33 rushing yards on that first drive, and then finished the game with 23 rushing yards. Completely got out of sync with running the ball. They only had 17 rushing attempts the entire game. 10 were from running backs.
Which is too few. Way
10,
too little.
Yeah, and 10 were only from running backs. I understand, once it got down to the fourth quarter, we didn't have the ball, so we had to throw the ball once we got it back. But we should have worked that clock way sooner than to give the option for Kirby to set on the way he did. And I mean, hey, he did what they did, and they succeeded. Because before that drive, before that fourth down that he went for and got it, they punted the ball 4 times and threw an interception, which led to the Texas touchdown. So Texas' defense was stepping up, and then it just, after the onside kick, everything kind of imploded. It's not what Texas needed to do. I think college football playoffs are on the back burner unless they're going to need help for them to get back in it. But I mean, the sky's not falling in Austin. Everyone's acting like the sky's falling. Oh,
That comes with losing.
Yeah, something's got to change. Something's going to happen. Sark's not getting it done. How's Sark not getting it done? He went to the semifinals the past 2 years consecutively. He only has 4 losses in the toughest conference there is, two last year, two this year. Like, calm down, people. It's not the end of the world yet, and we still have the opportunity to do something that only one team has done, and that's beat three top 10 teams to end the year. So if we beat A&M at the end of the year, that'd be three top 10 wins that Texas had. The only other team, the last team to do that, you know who it was?
Was it LSU in 19?
Yes, the last team to beat three top 10 teams in one season was 2019 LSU. So hey, that's still an accomplishment of its own. And then of course we got to beat little brother. We can't have little brother thinking they're going to go out in the season with the undefeated streak, especially coming to Austin to do that too. But hey, what a way to end up and spoil their perfect season with a loss here in Austin. I'm looking forward to it. I still think it's going to happen, but we'll see how it plays out. Outside of that, oh yeah,
A&M
go ahead.
tried to spoil their season against South Carolina. I mean, they did the thing that's crazy that happens in sports where they were so bad that it almost made they put themselves in such a bad spot that they were able to be impressive. Like kind of like Indiana did against Penn State. Like you play so bad that like your win is impressive when it never should have been an impressive win. But ultimately my quick thoughts on the Texas game were like I didn't think it would be a blowout, but I know when we talked about it, my thoughts were kind of like it was going to come down to what coach was going to make the ballsy decision, and Kirby made multiple of them. He coached an aggressive game, and right now Kirby seems to just have Sark's number for some reason, and I don't know why because I think Sark is a top 3 coach in the country, but he seems to just have his number, which is very odd, right? And Cole I mean this happens in college football sometimes, like for some weird reason, it seems like Brent Venables has Kalen DeBoer's number. Like there's
Yeah.
these odd things that happen where the matchups just don't play and guys just kind of get weird with guys, and that's what it looks like with Kirby and Sark right now. And I don't think it's a thing to Sark. And yeah, like you had sent the deal, Desmond Howard put out the post about
Yeah, what a clown.
that, he might leave. And like I texted you, I don't think Sark leaves. I can't tell you though, once you start losing and the postseason kind of comes out of the equation, the smoke thickens up when you got a guy like Sark. It's a testament to Sark, but yeah, like if you're a Texas fan, just kind of buckle in because the smoke's going to get thick. Because that's people are still going to talk about the program and especially when the preseason number one, you're going to get the noise about he's going to the NFL. Should Texas move on from him, which is asinine. Like if you're going to have a conversation, it's got to be the NFL one. The idea of moving on from Sark is insane.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I don't think any of that happens. But you're going to hear it because you got
Yeah.
3.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's gonna be a lot of outside noise that doesn't know. I mean, like I said, CDC coming out and being like, "Yeah, okay, this is news to me. Thanks for breaking the news to me, there, Desmond."
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. And then I think Sark addressed it too. He addressed what you said. The preseason number one, Kurt Boyles, who Sark and I think every Texas coach has kind of had issues with his questions, media wise. He said, "Oh, coach, with the third loss of the season, this looks like to be a disappointing season for you guys." And Sark says, according to who? And he goes, well, I mean, when you look at your preseason number one, and he goes, well, who gave us the preseason number one? We didn't. That was
Well, that's
outside
true.
noise. He said that's the outside noise. He's like, outside noise is disappointing than everybody else. He goes, because we knew what we had in this building, but everyone else assumed we had something else. I mean, hey, it's one way to answer it. Another thing I wanted to point out that Kirby has done when Texas has played him in the last 3 times. Well, in the past, Texas has played 13 ranked teams since 2024. 3 of those games were the lowest amounts of rushing attempts, and they all came against Georgia. Georgia this year, Georgia at home last year, and Georgia in the SEC championship. 10, 15, and 21 rushing attempts. So Kirby's got something dialed up to where he knows, hey, if I can get Sark to where he's pass happy and keep him away from the run, that's going to change the game. And he's done it in all 3 games. The one that Texas ran the ball the most, 21, we took him to overtime. So that shows you the more attempts the backs had, the more success Texas had with it as well.
It's like
I don't
Kirby
know.
tries to force the game into a phone booth, and Sark is like apprehensive to get into the phone booth. So it's like he almost tries. It's like Kirby. They brought pressure, which they hadn't done all year. Which was, I think they got Arch 3 times.
I think he sacked him once. No, he sacked him once.
Once I know they might have pressured him. I know they got to him a little bit more than was
Yeah.
anticipated. But it's like Kirby tries to force him to run, and Sark tries to push against it almost. And the game gets real weird and muddy, and I don't know. I think Sark will figure it out at some point, but right now it's odd.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me because that first drive, both running backs were getting good carries.
Yeah.
I mean, 33 yards on that first drive to start the game. On the first drive of the game, the rush for 33 yards is like, okay, let's keep it up. And then he just completely went away from it. So I don't know. We'll see how it comes out. Let's get into to what's going on. The outside noise everywhere in college football. We already touched on the Sark thing. People thinking Sark's going to go somewhere, or maybe Texas should move on to Sark, which we both think is asinine and don't think it's going to happen. Um, it's just blatantly stupid to even think that, in my
Yeah.
point of view. But I mean, the hot name in college, he kind of addressed it today on McAfee show when it was brought up that Ole Miss had gave him an ultimatum that he has to make a decision by a certain amount of time or whatever, and he said it's absolutely false. Um, to go on national media for him to come out and say that, I'd probably lean his way. And then why would a university put their head coach, who's had them a playoff contender, and say, "Hey, you need to give us a decision before the playoffs"? What? Wait,
So I
in
don't
what
think.
world does that ever happen?
Yeah. So one, I thought the interview was weird. Not in the sense of like it felt weird, like it kind of felt super pointless, right? Like the interview felt really like nothing came of it. Like he addressed. They touched on one question that seemed to be pressing. Like you're getting a guy that's everybody's talking about around the country. They didn't bring up. They just brought up the ultimatum thing. But he still has not said that he's not leaving Ole Miss, which is odd to me. You think like when all the noise blows up, he would at some point today been like, "I'm still gonna be here." He's yet to say that. I don't think there's been an ultimatum. I think the ultimatum is probably the wrong word. I think ultimatum leads there to be a consequence if you don't make a decision. I do think, however, Ole Miss has told him they want to answer quick. Because I think Ole Miss, and again, I've had some conversation about this today. I think Ole Miss is mishandling this big time also. Because everybody that has any information on Ole Miss, from Ole Miss, LSU, Florida, wherever, nationally, is kind of reporting the same thing, that Ole Miss is behind closed doors been like, we need an answer. Ultimatum's probably the wrong word. Deadline might be the wrong word. I think they're trying to push urgency. I think Ole Miss is viewing this thing through the lens of like, well, if you're leaving, we need to get a coach in here. We need to get the hiring process going. I want to make it clear. I think that's the wrong decision for Ole Miss. I think whether or not he's there next year or he's at another school, you better try to capitalize on a year where it looks like you might be a title contender. I mean, you're pretty much a lock for the playoff at this point, unless you have an all-time collapse. But you got to remember, dude, Ole Miss has no precedence in this. Ole Miss has never been a contender. They never had a coach that everybody wants. And they definitely never done the two simultaneously. I thought they misplayed it. And then the way their boosters have come out, I think you're going to get some sort of clarity before the Egg Bowl. Because I do think Ole Miss is just botching this. I think LSU and Florida are sitting there going like, holy shit, this is really working out for us. These clowns might run him out the door. And I think it would be crazy. It's never happened. I also think it could make Lane stay at Ole Miss, though, because he might not want to ruin his reputation and not coach a playoff team that he earned to get there. But I do think behind the door, I do think Ole Miss is pushing the button, trying to find out.
Yeah.
They ultimatum would be
In
you got to get an answer or we're firing you. I don't think they're doing that.
in no way is Lane Kiffin not going to coach this playoff team
That's
whatsoever. That is not going to happen. Like for people to even think that's going to happen is crazy. That's
the
not going to
only way
happen.
it would make Ole Miss the biggest laughing stock in college football is if they really, really pushed this envelope and he was like, you know what, I am going to go to LSU or Florida. I haven't made
Yeah,
my mind
but
there. And then they get the ass and go, see ya. We don't want you to coach then if you don't want to be here. Which I've dealt with Ole Miss my whole life. They do a lot of dumb shit. They are not good when it comes to success. They fumble the bag a lot.
yeah, if we're being realistic though, it's not going to happen. I don't know in what world that happens that a coach that has his team set up to go to the playoffs like this and not coaching them. You've seen it with OCs and DCs, of course. You've never seen it or heard it even being talked about until now with a head coach.
I'm trying to
I
think.
don't.
I thought about this too. What OCs and DCs have left in playoff runs? I can think of one.
Sark did.
Sark, it's for the Alabama guys did. So did Kiffin. Kiffin did it in
Yeah,
15 and coached the national title game.
but you've never seen a head coach do it. That's what I'm saying.
You never.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to. It's highly
This is what I'm
unlikely.
saying.
We're
I agree with you. I do not think it's going to happen. I'm not going to go definitively and say it won't, because I do think if it does, Ole Miss becomes the joke of the century. To go, you ran your coach off in the middle of a playoff run, but I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's odd that he's yet to come out and just put some of it to bed if he's going to stay at Ole Miss. I do ultimately think he does not coach at Ole Miss next year because I think Ole Miss is not handling this well at all. They're like panicking.
I don't see him going in. Well, see, that's what everyone's saying is no one knows what they're doing behind closed doors. They could have a deal already lined up and said, "Hey, Lane, you win this game, you win this game, you win this game, and you get to the playoffs. We're going to make you the highest paid coach in the country
That deal's
with
already
precedence."
no, that deal's already on the table, and it has been for 3 weeks, and he hasn't signed it.
Then we'll see.
They've
We'll
offered
see.
him an extension to make him a higher paid than Kirby Smart, which would make him the highest paid, and he hasn't signed it. That's kind of where, when this thing with Ole Miss is going, we need you to sign the extension. That's really where this, like, we need you to sign the extension by this date. And look, now, if they gave him the date of November 28th, which is Black Friday, which is when they play the Egg Bowl, if he comes to him Thanksgiving Day and goes, I'll make a decision by December 15th, they're not going to go, we'll get out the door. I think Ole Miss, though, is going, like, we want an answer. We would like you to stay. Please, like, we are kind of looking like jackasses out here. Like,
And I think the one thing that Lane hasn't came out and said that he's looking or he's leaving or he's staying, but he has made it a point to let everyone know how much they love Ole Miss and they love Oxford. Which I mean, honestly, that's maybe all the university needs to hear. So that maybe that's all he's giving them right now because he wants an even bigger pay raise. Because the longer he plays it, the more money he's going to make either way. Because he's going to start getting bigger and bigger offers from other schools, and then he's going to give I think ultimately he's going to give Ole Miss the opportunity to counteroffer, especially with taking his team possibly to the college football playoff. I don't see it any other way. I don't see him leaving until at the end of the season, and then if then, I still don't think he leaves. Me and Cole both talked about it in depth today. We both still don't think he leaves. The funny thing is everything on Twitter and the internet, one person says something and it blows up like there's no tomorrow. The person that released the ultimatum thing is the same person that said Sark was going into the NFL. The athletic, who's been making shit up out their ass since this season's. just hey, click on this. This is what we're gonna release today, and none of it's been true so far. None of it. Not one article that they put out that has been true. First it was Arch as a flop. Then it was Sark to the NFL. Now it's Lane's getting an ultimatum. Like
they're trying to make big headlines, and I think every story they've put out, maybe not is entirely untrue, but they word it where it's like it's clickbaity, and it's like I think, like, for all three of those, like, if you go, like, Arch has been disappointing to this point in the season. Well, that probably would have been true when that article came out, because it was a little bit disappointing. But to call him a flop is too aggressive. Sark's leaving for the NFL. Probably too aggressive. If you come out with a thing and go, Sark's probably not going to go to the NFL, but he would field a phone call to see what a team was offering, might be true. Ultimatum, too big of a word. If you come out and go, Ole Miss is trying to get some urgency and find out what Kiffin's doing, that's probably true. They just keep going all in. Like, it's black and white. Like, Ole Miss said if he doesn't have a decision by Friday at 5 o'clock, they're firing him. Is basically what they said with the ultimatum, which is not true. I do not believe that to be true. I do think it's weird to play the game to this point, though, because he's gotten his family involved tangibly. Not just like on social media. Like, his family has flown to different cities. And it's known. It's not like we think Lane's family was in Baton Rouge. We think his family was in Gainesville. It's like, no, it's confirmed his family was in Baton Rouge and his family was in Gainesville. That to me, and look, he might be playing a game. Lane's a different cookie than everybody, but that seems crazy to play the game and get your family tangibly involved. Like, get them on a private jet to another town to play the game. I don't know. I truly think he hadn't made his mind up. Is what I lean, that he doesn't know.
we'll see. I mean, the way it's playing out, it's a big, huge soap opera, and Lane loves attention. Lane loves being the center of attention, and he loves doing everything he can. So why would he give an answer? Why wouldn't he just stir it up more? Because it builds up on his name. It builds up on his possible payout to wherever he goes if he goes somewhere. Like, whatever he's doing, he's going to do it to get the biggest bang out of his buck, for sure. But another thing that I think people are overlooking is everyone's focused on Lane. Not everyone's getting Lane Kiffin. What do y'all do? What happens? What happens with LSU and what happens with Florida if Lane Kiffin isn't the guy? because everyone is pushing all. It seems like everyone's pushing all their chips into the Lane gold mine, and Lane, we don't. No one knows what Lane's doing, but what Lane,
There's three
that's
teams.
it.
There's three teams currently that all went in. Somebody went all in on black, somebody went all in on red, and somebody's all in on green right now. And only one of them's going to win. So what do you do on the back end? I agree. I tweeted this. I got a text yesterday that Lane to Florida's done. Here's the contract details. Here's when you can expect the announcement. Like 20 minutes later, I got it, and I sent it to the group text. Now, the source I got it from, it very well could be. It could be true. It could be not true. It could be there's no backing of the info. It could be a lucky guess. It could be completely wrong. I got a text not long after about LSU, very similar. I'm hearing the deal's pretty much done. Here's the contract details. You'll know something by Saturday, right? And I put that on Twitter just to kind of give perspective of like, the reality of the situation is Ole Miss fans are dead set. They know for a fact he's not leaving. Florida fans are 100% sure Lane Kiffin is going to sign a contract by the end of the week. LSU fans are 100% sure Lane Kiffin's the next coach at LSU. Somebody's got to be wrong. But they're all dead set that it's already a done deal, that it's set in stone. So ultimately what Lane's going to do is regardless of where he goes, he's going to create two mortal enemies. Because whatever team he chooses, the other two fan bases are going to despise him. Now, I don't remember in my life a coach of his stature with three teams of this magnitude publicly bidding for you. I can't remember one where there was three top-end teams publicly bidding for you, and you're in the middle of it. Like Tom Herman and LSU in Texas, but that was only two teams, and the Texas thing was relatively quiet till the end. I can't remember one where it was like, it's like piranhas on one thing. It's crazy to watch, which is why I think it's crazy news.
Here's my thing, because I know you and Cole were talking about it a lot yesterday about the confirmation that he was in Baton Rouge and Gainesville. What confirmation? Like, what is it? Just people on the internet saying it? Is it like an actual journalist has photos of them?
Yeah,
on the ground at these locations, like
that.
and it was put out there where. Okay, so it's actual pictures of them in these
Yeah.
towns.
So Wilson Alexander, who is a big time reporter in Baton Rouge, I mean, super reputable. Like a guy that he's not in the business of like clickbait. Like he's just he's a beat reporter. Like that's what he does. Confirmed it. And it was confirmed pretty much everywhere. Same thing with Gainesville. I don't remember the name of the guy in Gainesville, but it was confirmed in Gainesville also. And I think it also just got confirmed through Kiffin's team and whatnot that they were visiting. I think LSU confirmed. I think it got confirmed through LSU channels that he was there. Like I don't think the Gainesville trip and the Baton Rouge trip are like hearsay. I think that's confirmed that they were in both towns, which to me makes sense. Like if you are considering these jobs, you would want to get your family there and go like, what's your input? Like, I don't want to take a job if you hate the town. Like, go check out, let's go see what the place has to offer for you. Because I know what they can offer me for football because I'm having that conversation with Jimmy Sexton. But Jimmy's not giving me the conversation about what can my wife, I know it's ex-wife, but I think they're reconciled. What can the high schools in the area, what is there to do? Like, it makes sense. Like, I don't think that's super uncommon either. I think it just blew up because it got public.
It's nuts. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. But I mean, because even when it comes to beat reporters about confirmed people in those areas, they can be there. It was confirmed that Urban Meyer was at the UT Golf Club, did his interview, his an on-screen interview for Fox Sports Net from his hotel room in Austin, to the point that fans and beat writers are like, yes, that's the same wallpaper that they use at the golf club and this and that where he's staying. And I'm just like, who knows? Who knows what happens? It's a shit show. Only person that knows what they're gonna do is Lane, and maybe honestly, maybe he doesn't know because he's still looking at the checks. But yeah, like you said, two teams are gonna be pissed. One team's gonna be happy, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But I'm like you, I don't know what happens. So what does LSU do if they miss out on Lane? Where are they leaning?
The steam is picking up that the backup options would be Dillingham or Heupel. The Heupel thing is starting to get a little bit more traction behind the scene, I believe.
Don't think Heupel's going anywhere. Like that would be another huge
Apparently,
move.
starting to pick up where I think and we talked about this a couple weeks ago, I believe, with Cole, that Tennessee's not very happy, and I think that I don't think that's that far fetched. I think Dillingham right now is the betting favorite, but it's also bet online, so that's a weird one. I still think like a guy like Eric Morris would have a say in. I think Eric Morris is not dead in this. The North Texas head coach for LSU. Now, what would the question is like I'm kind of in the mix with the LSU thing. I don't know what Florida's backup plan would be. Would it be Golish? Would they just turn around and go
I have
bunch of
no
coach stuff?
idea.
Like I don't.
The
Like I haven't heard.
Heupel thing is nuts to me. The Heupel thing is nuts to me. I mean, they were a college football playoff team last year,
The Tennessee
and then he's
or
just going to leave it. I don't see that one happening
hate.
whatsoever. But hey, no telling what it ends up. I think, and then what's funny is they asked Sark about this a couple weeks ago about the firings and everything else, and his exact words were, "Everyone's firing their head coaches, but who's out there?" And literally, it looks like everyone's going after one coach with backup plans that no one's really heard about. Because ultimately, what's going to happen is they miss on. So say he says that Ole Miss, and LSU's like, all right, well, let's go after Eric Morse, and Eric Morse is like, I wasn't your first choice. I'm getting offers from Gainesville, or I'm getting offers from Arkansas that are just as competitive, and they were talking to me first because Arkansas hasn't put their name in the lane box yet either. So Arkansas could be sitting back, going at these coaches that are getting overlooked. No one knows what's going on at Arkansas.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Arkansas can't. I don't think Arkansas has any shot at. Like, I think the Lane thing for Arkansas is just not even a. I don't think he would even blanket the Arkansas job because it's a worse situation pretty much across the board than what he's at, and the upside is not better, right? Like I think on paper right now, you look at Ole Miss and you go, well, they're in a better spot than LSU and Florida are, but you look at the upside at those programs and go, there might be more resources and upside at those. Arkansas, there's just no upside. But you're right, Arkansas, but there's the Ed
Penn
Ogeron
State
going
as
to
well.
Arkansas.
You still Penn State as well. Penn State they're not putting their names in the lane box. So I guarantee you some of these coaches that they're getting names for other schools are getting phone calls from these other universities saying, "Hey, we don't want him. They want him. They want the attention of him. They're going after him. You see it in the news. We want you. We're not in the lane fiasco. We're in for a head coach, and you're the head coach we want."
So,
Then what happens when LSU or Florida doesn't get them and they turn to Eric Morris or Heupel or whoever's out there and is like, hey, well, we want you now. Whoa, well, I was your second choice. I was
there's
Penn State's first choice.
there's also the Auburn job that's still open.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's pointing to Summerall there, but that's where people start to go, well, Ole Miss has him as he's their backup plan if Kiffin were to dip. So what would Ole Miss do if they got word? Would they try to swoop in and make that one happen quickly, or is Auburn going to try to press the gas here and get this thing done? Where as soon as Tulane finishes regular season, he's signing paperwork. It's an interesting thing. I still think LSU and Florida are the two that kind of they're the big domino. Like Kiffin's the domino. So wherever Kiffin goes, I think you're going to start to fill jobs pretty quickly because I think some of these other schools are kind of holding tight to go, let's see what happens with Kiffin and how the other two schools respond. Who do they have in the sights behind the scenes if the Kiffin thing doesn't work? Right? Because I also think a lot of these schools, like if you're Penn State, you might not want to go get into you might not want to get deep into conversations, and then Florida shows up or LSU shows up at the back end and goes, we'll just outbid you, like we'll win the battle. Because I think Penn State job, I think like we think of it because of what Franklin was, but like I don't think the Penn State job's a terrific job. I think it's clearly third on the list. Like
Yeah,
I think
absolutely. But
ultimately,
yeah, where I differ. Yeah, where I differ from you on that is I don't think these schools are sitting back. I think they're out there actively talking to these coaches that are out there and available. I think they know they're not they can't get in the lane battle, so they're gonna go after the team the bigger names that are still out there because all the noise is with Lane. And then again, honestly, who's to say that Florida and LSU are both leaning so hard on Lane? Everyone media wise is saying it. Everyone on Twitter is saying it. Oh yeah, this is who they're going after. They're going to put all their. They might be going. Let them report that, and let's go after who we want. Else, you could be talking to Eric Morrison like, "Hey, you're our guy. Don't listen to this nonsense." No
I
one
do know.
really knows what's happening but the universities.
I know LSU
It's
is
gonna
vetted. I do think from just people I talk to, I do think that Lane is LSU's top target. Just like I knew, like it had gotten told to me in the previous coaching search with Brian Kelly that Lincoln Riley was LSU's top target. And then LSU came out after and were like, no, he wasn't. We never even looked at him. And that's just a lie. Scott Woodward just flat out lied. Lincoln Riley basically left LSU at the altar to go to USC, which that were, look, I'm okay with that. That doesn't hurt my feelings that took place. But I do know none of these schools are going to tell the truth on the back end, right? Like I think LSU and Florida are both dialed in on Lane, and that's who they want. They're going to go all in. But I also think if he stays at Ole Miss, both of them are going to hire a coach and be like, we got our guy. He was our guy all along. The Lane thing was smoke that we were covering up while we were interviewing Eli Drinkwitz. And we just didn't want it to get out, so we put smoke screens up over here. And I think both of them are going to be lying. Or two of the three schools are going to be lying about it. I don't know what happens. It's going to be interesting because I think a lot of these jobs are going to get filled in the next 2.5 weeks because most of these places are going to try to get somebody in before signing day and before the portal opens. So I think you're looking at that first week of December. A lot of these dominoes are going to start to fall.
I still think it's gonna be end of the season. It's gonna be an end of the season thing. Because once they hire a new coach, the portal opens for everybody because this coaching change. So they can accept athletes and athletes can jump out if they want to. Um, it's it's a mess. No one knows what's going to happen. I'm sure by the time we get off of this, there's going to be some other breaking news via Twitter of somebody saying something else. I had to block the fake On3 account just because I got tired of seeing it. They just kept putting stupid
Yeah,
stuff up nonstop, nonstop. And for
it's
them to have
horrible.
a massive following they have is ridiculous. They actually, I forgot who it was. They actually went at a Texas beat writer, or no, they went at one of the Barstool girls and was like, "Good thing you don't get paid for this." And she was like, actually, I do, but I was like, what? But yeah, I mean,
Shout out coaching search world. Shout out Virginia Tech. I thought Virginia Tech made a terrific hire by getting Franklin, and also great for them. I appreciate them pressing the gas and going, look, this thing might get messy at the top end, and one of them could panic and try to hire this guy. Let's just get pen to paper while we got him. Let's not wait. Let's just get it done with. That way, LSU or Florida or Auburn or Penn State or not, well, obviously not Penn State, but like one of these schools doesn't go, what do we do? Oh shit. Like I
yeah,
shout out to them. Great decision. He's gonna be good there.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you're not going to see it's not going to happen with Lane because he's still in the playoff hunt. So now, if Ole Miss was not in the playoffs, it had no hopes to get into the playoffs, or the SEC championship, then it would be a different story. It would be open talks very easily.
See,
But hey, we'll see how it plays out.
I'll go on record with this. I think Lane coaches the playoff for Ole Miss. I think I think we know what he does by when the first portal window opens. I think we know where he's. I think we know what he's going to do. That's. I'll go on record. And I know we differ there, but I think we know what Lane's going to do by the time the portal window opens.
Got it. I'm gonna write that down so I can make note of it later. Yeah, I don't think he goes anywhere. I don't think he goes anywhere even at the end of the season. I think he ended up staying at Ole Miss. I think he just gets a massive, massive contract at the end of it. But we'll see how it plays out. You got anything else for him?
No, just we'll see how this thing shapes up. We got I'm assuming the show comes on at what 7, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, it comes out at 7:30. So yeah,
7:30.
it'll come out and
But
we'll have a clearer college football
yeah,
playoff picture.
I do have a thing on that. The committee has kind of done something that nobody's really talking about. They have Notre Dame ranked higher than Miami. You absolutely, at the end of this thing, if it comes down to like that's one of the at-large spots, which it's going to be because Miami's not going to play in the ACC title game. If they're both 10-2, you cannot put Notre Dame in over Miami, right? You can't.
I don't know.
Because I can tell you
Who
why
did Miami lose to? Miami lost to.
it doesn't matter. Miami and Notre Dame played this year, and Miami beat them. They have the head-to-head.
Yeah, but Miami wouldn't get it. The second place ACC team would get in before Miami. They wouldn't get in
Yeah, but
because they don't take the they don't take the conference championship losses to heart.
correct.
Just like So just like if Texas would have made it to the college football playoff and then or to the SEC championship and lost to Alabama and would have 3 losses, Texas would still get in because their loss came in the conference championship.
Yeah, but I think what's going to happen is I don't know how the ACC directly shakes out, but Miami's the highest ranked ACC team. So they would still get in because whoever lost the title game wouldn't have been in a position to even be in the playoff to begin with. So it would be kind of like when LSU played in the title game, the SEC title game against Georgia. Like that was their 4th loss. They already had 3. I just think if you get in a world where you're like, do we put Notre Dame or Miami in? You have to put Miami because they beat them on the field. Like you can't completely go, games don't mean anything because they happened in September. That doesn't make sense. Then why'd we play it? Then why'd we watch it? Why'd we sell TV ads? Like why'd we do anything? If at the end of the year you're going to go, well, we think Notre Dame's better. It's like, well, Miami beat them on the field this season. Miami has the head-to-head in it too.
What is Miami's rank? Miami's ranked pretty low though.
They're like 14th or 13th. Yeah. They're like right in the mix, and Notre Dame's ahead of them. Which is what I'm saying. I think there's a world which that large spot comes down to them too, and they've kind of already set the precedence that they think Notre Dame's going to get in over them. Which I got a lot of thoughts on Notre Dame, which are not positive. Like I don't think Notre Dame's beat anybody this year.
Just USC. USC's their only ranked win at home.
That's it. Like I don't. And look, now some of their losses have aged terrifically. The A&M loss has aged fantastically. The Miami loss is aging great. Like, that's 2 top 15 teams, but, like...
Who did Miami lose to? Miami lost to...
They lost to Louisville. And they lost to SMU in overtime.
SMU's sneaking back up into it. SMU's only got, 1 loss, I believe?
No, SMU's got, I think, 3. I think SMU's like 6 and 7. Yeah, they got 3 losses.
I thought they only had 1 loss.
No, I think they only have. So I think like Virginia is going to play in the ACC title game against Georgia Tech right now is how it would work out. Something like that. Because Virginia has the loss to NC State. That's not a conference loss, although they're both ACC teams, but it was an out-of-conference game.
Yeah, so, I mean, if Virginia only has 1 loss, then there's no way that they can put Miami in over them if they lose the ACC championship.
They would get in, right? But what I'm saying is like Virginia would get in, but then you'd be sitting at a 10-2 Miami team kind of going like vouching for that at-large bid. And right now, like I think we all agree, if Notre Dame wins 10 games, we all have said it all year that they're going to be in the playoff. But it's going to be weird to put a 10 Notre Dame team in over a Miami team that the Miami team beat. So I think that would be a disaster at the end of this thing.
We'll see. It'll be something. It'll be something that works its way out eventually. It's going to be. This season has been one for the record books of what the hell's going on.
It's a shit show,
and we still got games left. We still got 2 weeks of football left. Yeah, 2 rivalry games for Texas coming up, so look forward to that. But I think that's all I got for y'all. You got anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, guys. We'll catch y'all on Friday for the live. Buddha will drop his LSU State of the Union address when they announce Billy Napier as their head coach.
God, what a horrible! It'd be a horrible dump. It'd be horrible numbers for me, but it would do numbers probably.
But hey, we'll catch y'all on the other side, guys. Y'all have a good one. Hook 'em.
First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. Y'all better listen up. This sports talking tough. So if you got a cup, go on and raise it up. I'll raise one with you as we talk about the sports. It's raining stats and rumors. Let us give you the report. This is First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces.